Hi there, my name is Acxle and this is my Hunter UI guide that I've made for a guild member, but anybody that wants to use it, feel free. I know there's a lot going on in this demonstration, but every add-on I use I do use to some extent, especially the add-ons for timers and cooldowns and procs. It's not that I can't raid without it, it's just it makes it so much easier when I've got for me, because I raid lead as well. It just makes it so easier for me to be able to lead the raid and to actually focus on my own cooldowns and ability and making sure I can do decent damage and, you know, do good performance. I will explain a bit more detail about what each add-on does individually, but for now this bit is just an overall demonstration on the heroic dummy and Orgrimmar. Okay, so let's talk about the individual add-ons. Okay, so we got at the top, you've got SexyMap, which obviously is a map mod. If you right click on it, you can get into the options where you can set things to hover. You know, if you hover over the map, it will show things and stuff like that, and show the buttons. The next stuff like the ElkBuffBars. Well, I can't remember what it's called exactly, but it's ElkBuff or something. You can set individual groups, so your buffs and debuffs, and that will go down the side. You can see the aspect of the Viper there. More will come down. You get the debuffs at the bottom, and it just expanding the list. Recount. Obviously, you should know everything about Recount and all it does. There should be no problems there. The left we got. This is why I put my chat mods. This is called Chatter. This one here, but I've been using Pratt a lot, which is a lot better. These are SLDataText, which shows you stuff like gold, latency. Stuff like that, and time stuff, and it's called SLDataText. If you type in / SLDataText, all one word, and you bring up this menu, and you can lock it and move it, and you've got all the options, and it's very customable. It's really great. You can do whatever you want with it, so I do recommend that. My unit frames I use is ShadowedUnitFrames, so it shows me my target, and so my pet. My health, target, and target's target, as well as I've set so target shows the buffs. So obviously my own target, my pet I don't show, but my target I do show, and I've got it so targets, debuffs or debuffs that aren't mine are small, and my own ones are big. Down here we've got Dominos. This is basically the bar mod, and the actual buttons icons is ButtonFacade. I use ButtonFacade Darion. So ButtonFacade is the actual icon, so you can get loads of different icon things, and the actual look of that is called Darion. This is an external add-on. So this is Dominos in the config mode. So you can move around the buttons, all the ones in blue. You middle click to enable them, and if you right click on them, you get this menu where you can change. You can customize them a hell of a lot, do whatever you want to them, and it's got loads of menus, drop down menus. So this one's the custom page where you can do what you want, exactly what you want for each bar, and then you've got stuff like this, which is page layout and modifications. So for example, if you press control, it will change it to it changes it to a different page. So as you can see, when I press control, the bottom it changes to a different page. That's pretty much it. Just mess with that and you can do it yourself. You can also bind your own keys in the bind key section, escape to cancel it like that, and then put it back on one. The next one is grid. I've got a grid guide up on the forums, so there's people in the guild. If you want to check out that grid guide, just check out that or the end picture, and I'll show you what it looks like in a raid situation. But these are my main abilities. Sorry, that was my brother in the background, fucking screaming butt scratcher. These are there's the main abilities at the front. So let's try combat. So you can see I've got tomorrow shot, aim shot, steady shot, and all these are my main abilities that I use, and I need to note the cooldowns down. So I'm highlighting now. It's called NeedToKnow. It's an add-on which shows you can individually set cooldowns and stuff. So at the moment I'm showing you Hunter's Mark. So the middle I've got is called, and this add-on I've got I'm pointing out now is called FaceShooter. So at the moment it's showing that it's preempting combat, saying I need Hunter's Mark. I put Hunter's Mark up, and then it shows, the NeedToKnow shows the timers on it. So I start combat using the Serpent Sting, and it shows me the Serpent Sting cooldown. So obviously it's like 20 seconds. When I use Tomorrow Shot, I obviously refresh. I've made a bit of a mistake though. I didn't never have Call of the Wild enabled. Make sure it's always disabled, because I've been in combat and used it straight away, and you might not want to be able to nuke straight away. So I always macro it to that / Call of the Wild or cast Call of the Wild, and then have it down the bottom with my buttons, with my other cooldowns. I'll use that as a cooldown. So let's start up then. So we've got Hunter's Mark, Serpent Sting, and go through my rotation. As you can see, FaceShooter, fucking awesome add-on. It comes round as a rotation, so that's the glimmer cooldown. So as it comes around, it hits the middle, that's when you use it. And you can see here that I'm highlighting the cast bar, AC cast bar. Normally it does come with a swing timer, but for some reason it's disabled. But it sort of does like what I'm doing there. It sort of, I've set it so it goes above that, and it sort of shows the auto shot timer, which is definitely useful. I don't know why I've disabled that. I need to have that back on, and it's reminding me to put it back on. But with steady shot, for example. But going back to FaceShooter add-on, if you just spam steady shot, it'll always tell you to go to tomorrow shot. As you can see now, I'm using steady shot even though tomorrow shot's up, so it's always telling you to use it, which is good. So it will always tell you the best shot for you, that's available to you. Shovel damage. Also with NeedToKnow, it's a second thing that I've got enabled, which is I've got my pet to the left, so it's a different group, but I've got my pet. So for example, men pet, I've got it to show me the time I left on men pet, and when my pet uses Furious Howl, it's got it up there, so you can track, pet cooldowns really well. So another part of the FaceShooter add-on is, to that point there, it's a little thing to the left of the add-on, the actual rotating bit. It shows if you'll get more damage from refreshing, reapplying your Serpent Sting. So for example, at this point here, I've got PowerAuras to show me when my 2 set procs, and it will show me on the FaceShooter the damage increase I'll get from it. So at this point here, you can see is the Viper aspect bit to the right of the middle bit of FaceShooter, and then in a second when my 2 set bonus procs, there it is, yeah, see that there? That's proc now, so it's telling me it's a 12% increase in damage I'll get from the Serpent Sting. So that will increase both Serpent Sting damage and Tomorrow Shot, and because obviously Tomorrow Shot will refresh it, as long as you can do that for like a minute or two, you're going to get a lot more damage from Tomorrow Shot. So basically if that comes up and you get more damage and it's worthwhile, just recast Serpent Sting and it will do it. So another part of the FaceShooter add-on which I've put to the right is when you get below 20% mana, it will say that you need to go into Viper. So if you go back a bit, it will show that I was pretty much so it was saying to go into Viper. So now I'm in Viper, getting my mana back, and when it goes above 80%, it's going to tell me to go back into Dragonhawk to make sure I'm not, DPS in Viper at full mana. So that's pretty much it from the icons you can see here. The only other thing that I use really is Deadly Boss mods, which goes around here for my timers, for boss timers, and it goes from there and it moves down to near the bottom, so I always know what the timers are. And grid, obviously you can't really see it now, you can only see my frame. So just for that, just for watching. If you get any questions, feel free to ask or whisper me in game. You can see here's a in-game, in raid picture of my UI, where you can see grid and the timers. Any questions, feel free to ask or whisper me in game on Acxle on Bladefist EU.